The recent allegations brought forward by a woman who has accused two of the most powerful figures in hip-hop, Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs, of sexual abuse have generated intense media scrutiny and public debate. This legal case, filed on December 8, 2024, sees the unnamed accuser, referred to as Jane Doe, claiming that she was sexually assaulted after being driven to an MTV Video Music Awards afterparty in 2000. As the case unfolds, new details have emerged, including some admissions from Jane Doe herself that have further complicated the narrative. In an exclusive interview with NBC News, Jane Doe made a startling admission. She confessed to having made some mistakes in recalling the details of the alleged assault. She acknowledged that her initial account of the event, as described in her civil lawsuit, was not entirely accurate in some respects, specifically regarding the manner in which she arrived at the after-party. In her initial lawsuit, Jane had failed to mention that she was driven to the event, leading to a contradiction between her prior statements and the latest version of her story. Instead, she had previously stated that the assault occurred at the same location where the after-party was held. She attributed these inconsistencies to the passage of time and the trauma she endured, which affected her memory of specific details. Despite these admissions, Jane Doe was clear in her stance that the core of her allegations remained unchanged. "I made some mistakes in how I remembered some of the details, but that doesn't change the fact that what happened to me was real," she asserted. "I am still standing by my claims, and I want to make sure the truth is heard." She emphasized that while some minor discrepancies in her recollection might exist, the traumatic experience itself was undeniable, and that her decision to come forward was rooted in the desire for justice. For Jane Doe, the act of coming forward with such sensitive and painful information has been a deeply personal decision. She has faced considerable challenges, both emotionally and legally, but she remains determined to pursue her case against Jay-Z and Diddy. "I know that my decision to come forward might be met with skepticism or doubt, but I want others to understand that I'm not doing this for attention. I'm doing this because I want to find justice for me and for others who might have been through similar situations," she explained. These allegations have sparked an intense legal battle. Jay-Z's legal team, in particular, has filed a counter-lawsuit against Jane Doe, demanding that she reveal her identity or have the case dismissed. The rapper's legal team argues that the anonymity of the accuser is unjustifiable, especially in a case that involves two highly public figures. They contend that Jane's failure to disclose her identity is an impediment to a fair legal process, suggesting that the case lacks the transparency required for a legitimate lawsuit. Jay-Z's legal representatives have taken a firm stance on the issue, asserting that the lawsuit against their client is an attempt to damage his reputation without sufficient evidence or accountability. If the accuser is serious about her claims, she should have the courage to identify herself, a spokesperson for Jay-Z said in a statement. "The truth will come out in due time, but we will not allow baseless claims to tarnish our client's legacy." For Jane Doe, however, the decision to remain anonymous is rooted in both personal safety and emotional well-being. In her interview with NBC News, she explained that revealing her identity could subject her to further public scrutiny and harm, particularly given the high-profile nature of the individuals involved. "This is a deeply personal matter, and I don't want my identity used against me or for people to make assumptions about me," she said. "I am here to speak my truth, but that does not mean I have to give up my privacy to do so." Despite the mounting legal pressure, Jane Doe's resolve to stand by her allegations remains firm. She expressed that she will not be deterred by the efforts to silence or discredit her. "I want to be a voice for people who are afraid to speak out, for people who have suffered in silence. I know how hard it is to come forward, but I believe it is the right thing to do," she continued. Her words seem to resonate with a broader message of empowerment, one that urges others to advocate for themselves and to seek justice, regardless of the fear or backlash they may face. Throughout the interview, Jane emphasized the importance of self-advocacy, a theme that she has consistently promoted throughout her case. "You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself," she said. "No one should be allowed to take away your dignity, your self-worth, or your future. You have to stand up and fight for your own life, for your own well-being. Her sentiments underscored a central message: the importance of not allowing the actions of others to destroy one's sense of self or to limit the pursuit of justice. Jane's courage in sharing her experience and speaking about the emotional impact of the assault also stood out during the interview. "It's not something you ever truly get over. You learn to live with it, but it changes you," she admitted, her voice breaking with emotion. "The pain doesn't just go away. It stays with you. But I'm here today because I want to make sure that I don't let what happened to me define who I am or limit what I can do." Her words encapsulated the psychological and emotional toll that sexual assault can have on its victims, particularly in cases where the trauma is compounded by public disbelief or skepticism. Jane also took the opportunity to share her thoughts on the broader implications of her case for other survivors of abuse. She expressed a hope that her decision to come forward would inspire others to do the same. "I just hope that by speaking out, I can give others the strength to come forward, just like I did," she said. "There are so many people who are afraid to speak their truth, and I want to show them that it's possible to be heard, even when it's hard." There's also criticism from the Supreme Court. The unfolding legal drama between Jane Doe and the two rap stars has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, where both Jay-Z and Diddy are not just musicians, but influential business moguls. As prominent figures with massive cultural influence, both men have long been seen as icons within the hip-hop world, and the ramifications of this case could impact their public personas and business ventures. Jay-Z's career as a rapper, producer, and businessman, as well as Diddy's status as a mogul, make them particularly susceptible to public scrutiny. While Jay-Z and Diddy have both maintained their innocence in the matter, the case has prompted significant conversations about the ways in which the entertainment industry handles allegations of abuse, particularly when it involves high-profile individuals. Some have questioned the motivations behind Jane Doe's claims, pointing to the discrepancies in her account as potentially weakening her credibility. However, others have pointed out that trauma and the passage of time can often distort memories, and that this should not automatically discredit her testimony. The conversation surrounding the case has raised important questions about the power dynamics in the entertainment world, as well as the challenges faced by survivors of sexual abuse who choose to come forward. As the case progresses, all eyes remain on the legal proceedings, with both sides preparing for what could be a lengthy and highly publicized trial. The stakes are high, not only for Jay-Z and Diddy, but for Jane Doe as well. Her decision to pursue this case is a brave and bold one, fraught with personal, emotional, and legal challenges. Yet despite the difficulties, she remains steadfast in her pursuit of justice, offering hope to others who may be suffering in silence. Jane Doe's courage in the face of adversity speaks volumes about the resilience of survivors, and her words continue to inspire others to speak out. As this case continues to evolve, it will undoubtedly have a lasting impact on the conversation surrounding sexual abuse, power, and accountability in the entertainment industry. Whether the case ultimately results in a trial or a settlement, the repercussions for both Jay-Z and Diddy, as well as the larger cultural conversation about sexual abuse, will likely be felt for years to come.